Hey guys, this is a video on this e-bike purchase that I made recently. So the quick story behind it is there was a person on Kijiji selling this as an e-bike project, incomplete project. Just needed a battery and that was it. I guess he lost interest in it. So I went over there, took a look at it, looked good to me, so I bought it. So this is my first foray into e-bikes, so I didn't completely know what I was looking for. Looked good when I first looked at it, like not perfect obviously, but the controller is there. Brand new 1000-watt motor in the back. Doesn't even look like it's been used to me. Generally looks good, good shape. Front brakes more or less work. There's a throttle to it, and when I spin it, it actually looked good. So I was unable to test it, so I took his word that I was working. But as you can see, this is a brand new wheel. So as you spin it, as you can see, rim is straight. So what's the problem? Can't go wrong. 250 bucks, bought it, and so here I am. So it's at home. I just rigged up a power supply, and now I'm starting to dig into the details of the bike, and I can see that this was probably not a great purchase. So what are the problems? Well, first, the first issue is that this is a very cheap controller. It's a 1000-watt controller, but there's no pedal assist LCD or LED controller here. So I'm assuming that means pedal assist is either not working or it's set to one level only. So the default pedal assist sensor, I rigged it to plug into this port. It doesn't seem to be working. So that's not great. So I think this is a throttle only e-bike. So that was the first issue. But the second issue, and probably the most important one, is this wheel. So I'm going to zoom in here. So here's the second issue, which is, as you can see, the brakes aren't aligned properly. These brakes aren't aligned properly because this wheel is shifted too far over. So a little bit of research, and you can uncover that wheels can have alignment, just like rims on cars. There's an offset compared to the hub. So it looks like this wheel has a zero dish or zero offset. So it's aligned right in the middle of the hub, which it's not supposed to. It's actually supposed to be aligned a little bit over so that it centers with the bike so the brakes can work. So that's an issue. Now I don't know if it's been respoked or whatever, but my understanding is that the spokes on the right hand side are supposed to be shorter than the ones on the left hand, such that this whole wheel can then shift over a little bit. So that's an issue, but got to take a look at it. Also, the sprocket on the left here doesn't seem to have enough room. I don't think they put the washers in properly. It looks like it's just a regular washer in there. Anyway, so that whole thing needs alignment. But what is the main problem? Well, let's take a look. Okay, so let's take a look at this e-bike. So I rigged up a power supply to generate 48 volts. So I'm just temporarily hooking up this thing to a battery. And when I click on the throttle, it looks good. It actually works. But if you look very carefully at the hub, you start to notice that there's a problem. So the hub is actually wobbly. So that's the main issue. But if you take a look at the rim, which is, you can just see at the corner here, that's this here, this actually spins straight. So I think what happened was the guy saw that this wheel has a defect, which is a wobbly hub, and then took it to a bike shop and had them true the rim. And they did that. Unfortunately, they probably also gave it a 0 offset, which made it not fit the bike. So I think that's probably what the history is. So that's the main issue. So what I'm going to do is going to try to take apart the hub and see if this can be fixed. If I have to fix the axle, I don't know. Maybe it's a bearing issue. I don't know. So let's take it apart and start there. Okay, so the wheel straightening went well. As you can see, I straightened it and also added a little bit of offset, so it shifts the rim a little bit over to the cassette side, and that gave me enough clearance that I could mount the rear brakes. And now the rear brakes are working. So it looks like wheel straight, everything is ready to go. Front brakes, I also tweaked those as well. So I ordered the battery's on its way. So this thing is ready to go. So the next thing I'm going to do is mount the controller. So zooming up a little bit here, I'm going to reuse this seat, this rear seat, which the old motor used to sit. So this is the controller. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut this sides off and mount some sort of a box on the inside so I could put the controller inside there, and I'll try to make enough room so that all the wires can stuff in there. Okay, so I finished putting together this box. As you can see, it's just made of sheet metal, thin ductwork actually, but it's turned out well. It houses the controller, so the controller is going to sit here, and there's plenty of room to stuff wires through here and go through this hole there, so that's perfect. So that turned out really well. So I powered the whole thing up again, and looks like we're really good. So you can see the motor there has no more wobble left, so that's really good. However, we got a new problem, which is after I inflated the tire again, it looks like it's flat. So I think what happened is that these spokes are not supposed to be dished. This rim combo is not supposed to be dished. So when I offset the rim, I think some of the spokes were poking through, and I think that's what flattened the tube. Anyways, I was going to change the tire anyways. It wasn't mounted properly from the factory anyways. So next thing I'm going to do is going to take that apart. Okay, so let's zoom in here. So as you can see here, I don't know if you can see because of the light, but I mounted a little voltmeter here, and this is basically going to be driven to the battery. So just for my power supply, you can see it reads, what is it now, about 60 volts. So just a temporary power supply. Anyways, but the cool part about that is how I mounted it. So I took a piece of PVC electrical conduit. I think it was like 5/8, and I just kind of sliced the end off. And if you need to mount anything on your handlebars, I mean, it works just perfect. It just stays there. It doesn't need anything. This will not come off. So you can just mount that wherever you want, like right there. That's perfect. And there you go.
Okay, so we got the rear tire on. It turns out that it was flat because there was no inner rim lining, tape lining. So the inner tube just punctured. So I guess that's straight from the factory. Anyways, so I had a spare tire, so I just swapped over the tire and the inner tape, and now the tire size has changed. That's a knobby tire, whereas the front looks like it's more of a road tire. But anyways, they're both 1.95 inch tires. Anyways, that matches. I also took a chance to, actually I took the rim and I took out the dish, so I centered the rim again, because I think the spokes were uneven. The spokes are evenly sized, so if you try to dish it, then one side's going to be looser than the other. Anyway, so I tightened them both up. They're both equally tight now, and I trued the wheel, so everything's fine, and I just put an extra spacer on one side to shift the tire over. So the rear brakes are good, front brakes are good. All the wiring has been, I just zip tied it all temporarily, stuffed everything inside the controller box, everything's okay. And now we're just waiting for the battery, which came in today. So let's take a quick look at the battery and do an unboxing. Okay, so this is a triangle battery. This is a 20 amp hour, 48 volt with a 50 max discharge amp rate. So it's good for 750 watt to 1800 watt motors or controllers. And let's see what this looks like. We got some instructions. This must be the charger. All right, let's take a look at this battery. Whoa. Ooh, baby. Okay, so that's the heavy duty connector. Oochie mama. Okay, and that's the zip tie, or the Velcro ties. Wow, that's a heavy duty connector. I might actually have prongs for this. Wow, look at that. That's a big bite. What is that, 10 gauge? Oochie mama. All right, so I'm curious to see if this thing, like, how do you take it off the bike to charge? Like, are you supposed to take this thing apart, or? It looks like you're supposed to just unvelcro the whole thing and then just take it out. Take it out. Okay. Good. Well, let's see if this fits. All right. Okay, so they did recommend making a cardboard template, which I did, and it fit. The cardboard template fit fine. So it looks like this one's also good. So it'll just kind of sit here. Awesome. And here's the power. So it looks like it's probably good to just route it in the back here or something. Just connect it out of the way. Cool, man. All right, let's hook this up. Okay, we're done. So mounted the battery. It's got a full charge from eBay, so that's good. I just routed the wire up and around. I tucked all the wires in. So I soldered. So the kit came with a connector, a male and a female connector. So you can basically cut the one to your connector and use theirs. So that's good. So I just basically extended it from there. Everything's tucked in. And that's it. I just quickly powered on to see if it was actually working. It looks okay. So this guy is ready to go. She is a beast. My Lord.
All right, so turning it on, I can see it registered 49.1. So if I just give it a little blip, whoa, there it is. Whoa, all right, he's ready to go. Let's go for a spin.
Okay, go. Okay, we're good.